Hey, everybody. It is Patrice. I am your financial growth strategist. I am also the owner of Malay Management Group. We are a boutique financial services firm, and we focus on helping coaches, consultants, and course creators increase their revenues, reduce their tax liability, and scale their business to 6+ figures. And we do that by implementing tax strategies that help you save more money than you spend and aligning you in a business structure that is set up to take as much benefit as you possibly can from your taxes. Now, I wanted to come to you really quickly today, because I keep getting a lot of comments and questions from my clients. They're asking me about starting a business because a lot of them have they're contractors or they're self-employed. And I try to tell them that there is a huge difference between being a self-employed person or business and then someone who is incorporated. So someone who has a limited liability, someone who is part of an S Corp, a partnership, C Corp, so on and so forth. So one thing I want to just get out of the way, like first and foremost, is that if you have a business and it's under a DBA or doing business as name, there is no protection for you, period. So the difference between having a limited liability corporation, S Corp, C Corp, etc., is that you have protections from your personal assets. So you are not personally tied to, anybody. So say, for instance, you've sued and they want to come after your business. They're not going to be able to touch your personal finances and assets, okay? It's going to be through the business. So that is one huge thing that I want you guys to get in your heads, to think about, to take advantage of, because again, if something does happen to you, and we are in an age where people sue at the drop of a dime, they take advantage of, hardworking, good people, unfortunately, and then you're left out there with nothing, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. Let's just get that out into your ears. Let's just get that out into your thought process. I want you to understand that it is very important to protect yourself. You want to make sure that nobody can come after you and take away the things that you've worked so hard for. Now, let me get back on topic, you guys. So again, it is almost the end of the year. A lot of people are asking me what they can do if it makes sense for them to start a business right now. And I tell them that it is. If you have all of your information in place, you might as well go ahead and get it set up. Okay? Because again, you want to be protected. And here's another thing, guys. It is the end of the year. So the secretaries of state are very busy right now. And if you do have all of your paperwork together and you submit it, it's going to be delayed, more than likely. So it makes sense to get it done now so that they can give you a formation date of the 1st of 2021, okay? The other thing with that is that you'll be able to take advantage of the tax breaks for the whole year of 2021. So again, you could start it now if you want to, but you will not be able to take advantage of everything that you would have for the full year of 2020. So it kind of makes sense to just wait until 2021. So if you have that question, that's the answer. I don't say you shouldn't do it, but I would suggest or recommend that you wait until 2021 to start it so that you have the full year of tax benefits in that tax shelter. Now, what I wanted to do is come here because I have a lot of questions, again, from people saying, oh, I want to start a business, and they think it's just a notion, and it's not just a notion, you guys. There is a whole series of things that is associated with becoming a business owner. So I'm starting this series, and it's called So You Want to Start a Business, and I just wanted to kind of throw a few pointers out there for you guys. So the idea of starting a business, as you know, is incredibly exciting. It's wonderful. You get all the feels, all the things, but you don't think about everything that's associated with actually running the business once you get it started. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that you're prepared financially, okay? It is incredibly expensive to run a business. Even if you're, self-employed, guys, I mean, you have your customer relationship management software, you've got your scheduling, you've got your, sales pages and course content and everything else that you have to do, like all the things. So you want to make sure that you are prepared for that. But even before that, when you form your business, that's going to be an expense. Okay. So if you are setting up a limited liability corporation or an S Corp, that's going to cost you upwards to, $1,200, $1,500. So you want to make sure that you have that money first. So get that there. Okay. Because you can't be in a business if you don't start your business. So you want to have that money available and ready when they ask you to, provide your documentation to do the corporation for you. So once you've got that done and you're prepared financially, you want to make sure that you identify your business name. And the thing with that is that we all have all these kinds of, fantastic ideas of what we want our business to be. But what you should do is your research, because it's not guaranteed that just because you want a name that it's going to be available. So make sure that you go to your state website and make sure that you do a search to see if somebody already has your business name. And if so, I would suggest when you're making a list just to come up with a handful of names just in case the first, second, or maybe even third name is not available. Okay? So there. So we were talking about being prepared financially, identify what your business name is going to be. And then after you've done that, that's when I think that you should start to form your legal entity. So again, do you want to be a sole proprietorship? I don't necessarily recommend it because you don't have the tax benefits as you would with the limited liability corporation, so on and so forth. You don't have the protection. And you're going to be double taxed, basically. So you're taxed as an employee and employer. So you know that when you're a traditional employee, your employer usually takes the brunt of 50% of the employment taxes. So again, if you don't have that shelter, which again is one of the reasons why you're in business in the first place, is so that you have those shelters and you could take advantage of them, you're already starting off, losing, basically. So off the top, you're probably going to be losing 30% of your income. So you're going to have to be hustling extra hard to keep up with everybody else who has a limited liability corporation, an S Corp, a C Corp, or partnership. So identify how you want your business to be structured, because that will determine how your taxes are applied, okay? So we're going to go a little more deeply into that later on in a different part of the series, but I just wanted to get that out for you so you understand what you need to do. Now, after your legal entity is formed, and I would recommend you have somebody do it for you because there's a lot of paperwork involved, a lot of time. If you go with somebody who does that as their business, it's going to be expedited more than likely because they have that relationship. One of the things that I've learned as a business owner and just from talking with other business owners is that we want to be able to do all the things ourselves, but we can't. And quite honestly, it doesn't make sense to do so. Outsource what you can't do, what you don't know, what you don't want to do. Save yourself some time, headache, and heartache. Okay? So there. So again, after you've applied for your legal entity, more than likely what they will do, which is part of the package, is get an EIN for you, so an employer identification number. So that's basically your tax number. That's going to allow you to apply for funding. It's going to allow you to be registered as a legal business, an entity. It's going to allow you to take advantage of everything that other business owners basically can do. So you're going to need to have that. It's like your business social security number. It's very important. That's how they track you. That's how they are able to make sure that you are fit for funding. And that's how you're going to be able to open a business bank account, which leads me into our next step. So after you've gotten your articles of incorporation or organization, depending on what you set yourself up as. So LLC is organization and S Corp, C Corp is corporation. So once you get that paperwork, you're going to be able to open up your business bank account, and you're going to have to do that, quite honestly, because you want to be able to separate your personal expenses and assets from your business expenses and assets, because you're going to be able to apply those tax shelters to those business expenses. You're going to want to make sure that you have that, available to you. Again, what's the point of setting up a business if you're not going to take advantage of the benefits of it, right? So keep that in mind. After you've gotten that set up and you've gotten your business bank account in play, that's when you can really start to do business, right? You can accept sales, you can, write your expenses, you can keep track of that throughout your business. And another thing you're going to have to do, depending upon what it is that you do for your business, is apply for business licenses and permits. So if you have a professional consulting business, if you're like a lawyer, a dentist, doctor, and so on and so forth, you have to have particular licenses to run and operate your business. If you are selling physical goods, you have an inventory, you're probably going to need a sales permit, like a wholesaler slip, so on and so forth. So again, with that incorporation, when you're forming your entity, you can have them include that in your package so that you're ready to go. Like you're ready to rock and roll when it's time for business to start. Okay. Another thing you're going to want to do is know the laws, rules, and regulations that are going to affect you as an employer. Okay. If you plan on hiring employees, you're going to need to make sure that you are adhering to all the rules, all the regulations, all the things. So OSHA, making sure that state and federal payroll monies are being withheld so that you can make sure that you're paying your taxes and that you're compliant, because nobody wants the IRS coming after them. So those are some things that you're going to have to take into account. Anti-discrimination laws, unemployment insurance, workers' compensation, so on and so forth. And that's a huge thing, guys. So as far as workers' compensation is considered, if you do have employees and somebody gets hurt in your workplace, they can sue you. So again, going back to having that entity structure put in place, they will not be able to affect you personally. It'll be for your business. And because, which leads me into our next thing, you have business insurance, okay? You're going to be protected. So it may seem like a pretty trivial expense, but it is so, so, so important to have business insurance, you guys. There's nothing, I guess, more challenging and disappointing and defeating than having somebody come in and take from you something that you've worked so hard for, and it could have been avoided because you had insurance. Keep that in mind. Get yourself some business insurance. And one of the last things I would say, if you need to, apply for business funding, because there are a lot of companies and groups and organizations that will give you grants. Okay, so like the Small Business Administration, I would highly recommend looking at something like that, because they can give you all kinds of information depending on where you're located. If you're in a HUD, housing and urban development, like an economically disadvantaged type of zone, you get grant money for that. You get, all kinds of, special treatment and things that you can utilize for your business depending on where you're located. Look for that information, do your research. And then, because you want to build up your business credit, because if your business credit is good, you're able to get funding down the line. Now, one thing I know you don't want to do, and I personally didn't want to do, is use a whole lot of my own personal money to run my business. So again, if you've got that business funding, if you have that favor in their eyes and they know that you are creditworthy, you can use their money, okay? And pay it back over time. Now, I know that people might be saying, debt's not good, but when you have business debt and you're able to pay it back, that is good because it helps you build. Just something to keep in mind. And the last thing I would say is, once you get your entity put into place, you want to make sure that you remain in compliance, because if you let your your enrolled agent lapse from your business, if you don't pay your fees and your dues to the state each year, you're going to lose the activity status of your business, which basically means you're not protected. So hopefully these things make sense to you guys. Again, I just wanted to run through them really quickly and let you know what's happening. It's the end of the year. I want everybody to be successful and profitable. Remember to be prepared financially. Identify your business name. Form your legal entity. Apply for an employer identification number. Okay. Obtain the proper business licenses and permits. Know the rules, laws, and regulations associated with your particular niche, service, industry, etc. Apply for business insurance. Make sure that you're protected and covered. Make sure you have your business bank account open so that you can accept the money that you're going to be making, because you're amazing and awesome and wonderful. And then apply for business funding if you need it. Right now you may not, but at some point it will be very helpful and beneficial for your business. And finally, keep your entity in compliance so that you will remain protected. Okay, guys, again, it's Patrice. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I look forward to bringing you the next part of the series of information, and I will talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.